you have pre-production, production, post-production, and it's a very popular format with regards to the video world. And people often say, well, do you really need the pre-production? Why do we need to do the storyboards or the treatment or sign off a script? And I go, we don't want to get to the end of a film and ever have a client say, what was in that voice? And why was that visual there? Because they've signed it off. Brand new. Congratulations.
Another edition. So I've got a 6-year-old already, and now
boy or girl?
A girl. So two girls.
Okay, 2 girls.
Yeah, outnumbered massively.
Oh, wow.
But that's just how
you got broad shoulders.
Oh God, don't.
You don't have a choice on that.
You don't. You've got no choice. It's here now. What are you going to do about it?
Exactly. I've got 3. I've got boy, girl, boy.
3 is a lot. More kids and hands is the problem. I think that's when it gets harder.
There's one thing you can't control is timing. So the elders look after the younger. So we've got them trained well.
How old are yours?
My son is 18.
Oh, right. That's
daughter
fine.
is 13, and the younger son is 10.
All right, so there's a decent gap between the first and second. I needed some time between those two to
5 years, and if it doesn't feel uncomfortable for me because it's 5 years between me and my brother. So like that felt quite normal.
Yeah.
And then 3 years between 2 and 3. So and all of them get on really well. We're kind of blessed with calm.
I mean, placid. That's very nice. Calm and placid. I don't think my first daughter is going to be calm and placid. She's quite dramatic. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, but she's dealing all right with the new edition.
You said 6.
Yeah, so
all
she's
right. So some kind of
it's more than like if you're going to properly plan it, but it took me that long to get over the first one, to be honest.
I think there's only so much planning you can do. Is my take on that.
That's the one.
You get some people trying and it never happens, and you get some people trying and you get 1, 2, 3.
Oh, don't. Yeah. I think I was. Yeah, it was more the fact I was like, I don't want any more children after the first one, because we had a really hard time with Nina. It's like, I don't want any more. I'm done. And then over the 5 years of constant pressure from your wife, eventually, you're not going to win that over just slowly grinding you down.
It's a losing battle.
I held out a while, but all good.
Good. Well, 3's the new 2. Remember that. So
I'm not having another.
Don't go there.
Another. No, I'm done. I mean, I don't think there's anyone at 4 weeks old goes, oh yeah, I think I'll have another one.
Still early days. Yeah. Is she sleeping? No.
She's not sleeping particularly well. She's like, she's got the silent reflux, so like, the acid reflux. Not thankfully vomiting, which is, but just it's uncomfortable. So she can only sleep lying on you, really, which is pretty stifling. But same with Nina. It's exact same. Like we tried putting, you try and put her down on her back 5 minutes, she'll be awake like coughing or spluttering or like, right, fine. Okay, we just won't put you down on your back. Done.
Just soldier it through.
Just got to get through this next 3 years.
Exactly. Well, you've got experience, so it's not you're not vanilla.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay, awesome. So I suppose you go first. Tell me how you think. Tell me about some of your projects, what you're doing. Let me tell you some of the projects of what we're doing, and there's obvious overlap and synergies where I'm sure we could support vice versa.
So about half of our business is business to business, comms, design, PR work. So it's working with manufacturers, a lot in sustainability. So we work a lot in sustainable palm oil. So I work with KTC Edibles. KTC, like literally the sort of British Asian brand for food. So work with them, but mainly on their oils and fats side, because they've got some subsidiaries. So they got one up in Glasgow and one in Ireland somewhere. Don't tend to deal too much with those two. Although we do packaging design for them. I do a lot of comms. So for them, it's about changing perceptions. For a long time, they were seen as like that cheap ethnic brand. We're a cheap brand, like, and they really wanted to change that. So we really worked on the kind of sustainability side, because they're actually quite ahead of most of the competition on that. So we kind of we've changed the look and feel of some of their packaging, and we've really worked on the comms of just like whenever anyone's talking about sustainability and oil, where you see like it's Gary Lewis who they speak to. If you ever Googled him, you'd see that it's him who they come to. So we work with them. They're probably our biggest food client in the UK. Work with a big company called Momentive over in the US, who are a big multinational chemicals, specialty chemicals provider, working on their construction sealants. So again, it's a lot about sustainability. They make silicon roof sealants, essentially, and structural glazing sealants. But we're doing the work. We do a lot of the comms around that, a lot of the messaging for them, and that's kind of international PR. Also just some blog writing and technical stuff, and that's mainly content. What else do we do? I work with Africa, who are basically environmental consultants, sort of sustainability consultants. They advise governments and businesses on environmental and sustainability policy. Work with a company that makes gas cylinders. But for some interesting applications. So the gas cylinders might be boring, but they're putting them in space. So they're on like they count SpaceX, I think, as one of their customers. So all the stuff for satellite ion engines and all these things, essentially just gas cylinders. But yeah, so that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a kind of selection of customers. We also work with some sustainability software on that side. Other side of the business is entertainment. And events. So we work with like Annie Mac, Riz Ahmed. We've done stuff for the guys from Blur. We work with a lot of techno artists doing their social media management and creating assets for them. A bit of sort of digital marketing support as well in terms of doing stuff on their websites, sorting out their mailing lists and their own kind of media lists and sending stuff out for them. Selling tickets and music and getting them booked and all those good things. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's just about, I think, a good overview. We've also got we're kind of moving out of music because of the economics of it have changed so badly over the last 5 years for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So we're doing a lot more with sort of outside of that. We've done some in the kind of dog training / nutrition space, just because my business partner has got into that.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's got some connections, and then we end up working with a few people, and then we end up working with, some decent names in that space too. So that's about it, really. Yeah. What about you?
Sounds very interesting. Big contrast between events world, entertainment world, and your corporate.
Oh yeah, but it's huge, and that wasn't by design. That was by necessity because of when we set up the business. So we set up the business in 2019. I mean, it was based on my old business-to-business consultancy and freelance work. And my business partner, James, he used to work for a music marketing agency, another one in Leeds. We'd built up the music side through 2019, seemed to be going pretty well. We were kind of taking on stuff. And then you may have noticed there was a couple of year period where live music was not
as popular
in the world with the pandemic. And we lost 50% of that work within 3 months.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then I had to double down.
The whole events industry just died, didn't it? It just flopped because they couldn't.
No, and that meant that we had to pivot to where my stuff was, which is food, chemicals, B2B, like just went down that side. And then Ukraine war hit in 2022. Yeah. And that had a massive impact on KTC and also the general oils and fats market because
interesting.
Ukraine was the world's biggest provider of sunflower oil.
Wow.
So, and KTC, suddenly that side started dropping off a bit for a while. And then the music side was coming back. So rather than, and you just end up in that way, it's not something I would have planned for, but they are quite disparate. Although now we're picking up some interesting things that combine the two. So, for instance, we're pitching for a food festival by a very famous musician. So it's a kind of food and music and kind of both. So there's some kind of there's bits that we can cross over, but it's a very small crossover niche.
It's an interesting one because you just reminded me, if you've ever been to an Asian Mela, which happens in Leeds, Bradford, Birmingham.
Right, yeah,
and
yeah.
It hasn't happened in Leeds actually for a few years. But or like any of the Caribbean kind of carnivals, it's a mix of food and music.
Yeah. Well,
So
that is culture, isn't
it's
it?
culture, isn't it?
That is culture.
They-
Food and music are the things that can cross culturally most easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the nice, great events to go to, and so that's interesting. So I'd be delighted to tell you about us. I'm going to just still stay on you for the time being, though. I want to dig a bit deeper. So KTC comms.
Yeah.
So you're doing B2B and you're helping with, is it brand positioning? Is it
PR.
the voice?
So a lot of everything. So for PR clients, it could be the simplest kind of media relations, like send out news releases when they've got new stuff, to what we do for KTC, which is proactively pitching features to journalists on topics regarding sustainability, so sustainable supply chain, sustainable palm oil legislation. So it's a very knowledge-based kind of thing, keeping on top of all of the things that are happening
in the market
and helping. And then helping to promote KTC's events around that. So, they're going to exhibitions and they run webinars for sort of customer education on some of these topics. They're providing a lot of ingredients to food manufacturers and to food service. So it's tying all that together. But a lot of it for them has been more that brand position in terms of they were seen as that, like a cheap brand that you saw in international supermarkets and, in the world food aisle, maybe.
At best.
At best.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're not seen in quite that space. They get more retail space. I think during the pandemic, that really helped. When other suppliers couldn't provide, they stepped up. Also, they're just, they were taken over by a Endless in Leeds, in private equity kind of, or venture capitalists, whatever they are. So obviously there's a different kind of focus, a bit more corporate focus. It's gone from a family business with a very flat structure.
Yeah,
there was like four of them, him and his sons, to then bringing in a more of a corporate team. Working with them on all that, and then packaging and everything else around that.
But there's a big two totally different departments, aren't they? Like PR, branding, positioning, all that good stuff, and then packaging is like.
But it's packaging for mainly B2B stuff.
Okay.
So it's a lot of it's tied into the same issues with sustainability. So palm oil especially. So palm oil is in loads of stuff, as you probably know. It's in they said it was in 50% of all packaged supermarket products at one point. I don't think that came from the WWF. I dispute that figure, because I don't think I've never seen the working on that, but it's in a lot of things, cosmetics, foods. It's a really useful, versatile oil. Like if you're frying stuff, so if you go to any restaurant, they're probably frying in palm oil because it just performs better, it lasts longer, it's cheaper, or it has been historically cheaper. But there's sustainability issues around its production. So KTC has been pushing, it's seen the direction of travel a long time ago. It's been pushing the sort of certified sustainable palm oil, and transitioning customers over to that when there is a price premium on that is obviously a challenge. So it was kind of refocusing some of their ranges, launching dedicated ranges focused on the sustainability credentials to add value. So a lot of it is around that same position. It's just applying it to a different kind of a different approach. And lots of their packaging, obviously it's B2B packaging. It's not like it's not got the same kind of retail look and feel, so you don't need to worry about it, but you want it to look attractive and you want it to be recognizable. So kind of updating some of their stuff to reflect the different kind of makeup of things.
So the mix in your team is strategic, is writers.
So I've got there's 8
designers.
of us.
All right, good.
So there's me, and I've got a head of content who's a former journalist, and then I've got 2 full-time graphic designers, and then we've got 4 in the digital team. So one, James, my business partner, who's worked on campaigns for like some of the best-selling artists of the last 20 years. We've got Chris, who's used to work with them at the old agency, and then we've got Anya, who is She was a musician and used to handle smaller accounts for musicians, and has now come on that side. And then we've got an account handler as well, Ags. So yeah, they're all working on different kind of different bits and pieces, and we kind of do a job share with some of them. As you need to, you get capacity from that side on different things.
And the digital team, tell me about that. So you do web dev and web design?
No web dev.
No. Okay.
Anymore. We do. That's not true. We'll do Webflow stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
But not anything.
Full on.
No, we manage stuff and we bring in an external partner if I'm going to do that, because there's it's more hassle than it's worth. Yeah, honestly.
I get it.
And yes, there's nice, attractive upfront, but your website's for life, not just for Christmas. It's the kind of you just end up constantly, dealing with it.
Fine. So the team is doing more social media management.
Social media management. They're doing things like, what do we do for? So we're working with a dog training client. She's one of the world's leading kind of dog trainers. Certainly in the UK, she'd be in the top. She's on the telly quite a lot. We've done a nice kind of campaign stuff for her in terms of like developing a questionnaire, because she trains dog trainers. So a questionnaire to see where those trainers are at in their current kind of journey. And then we're putting it through, tying it into some funnels with some content that she's got, and kind of promoting her stuff that way. So a lot of paid social, a lot of that kind of work. For the musicians and the artists, it tends to be a bit more pushing events, pushing music, pushing brand, like where we are, making sure their socials look good, make sure it reflects their personal brand, make sure that they look relevant, and everything looks good. So
it's all about more visibility, more awareness, top of the funnel kind of things, because they've got a fan following.
Yeah, well, they've already got their community, so it's community based rather than
commercial,
transactional in the same way as
so it's not lead gen. It's not so much.
No, you're not. You can't make someone like music. There's and it's more about, you can showcase what makes them special, and but the music has to be part of that.
Itself.
Yeah. The brand can back that up in a big way.
Of course.
Who does it is. It is as important as what it is. But it's more around that. The management side, the strategy side, what kind of stuff are you posting? Like, why are you doing this?
So do you get involved with creative and content?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Great. And does that fall into video?
No. Well, we don't have a video team.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't tend to record anything ourselves. We edit, obviously. We do huge amounts of video editing.
Okay.
But
fantastic.
Not in terms of raw footage. No raw footage stuff.
Okay, just repackaging some of their promos, their music videos into content to push out on social.
Yeah.
What tools are you using?
The Adobe suite and the I guess After Effects and all of the same kind of
yeah.
It's not something I stay well away from creative.
Fine. Okay. It's just that because your forte is more strategic.
Yeah, I'm already like you work in a small business. You already do about 8 different jobs. Like I can't take on any more. Yeah, exactly. So I still work on the content side, so on the writing and the planning side. I still do end up pitching stuff to journalists quite a lot, and then managing the business and doing bits of finance and HR and all of the other good things. So I can't be getting involved in any more things.
Makes sense. How do you divvy your time up?
How do you divvy your time up? I don't know what time I have. Badly, probably. I could definitely do that better. Just constantly spread too thinly at this stage. It's that kind of size of business though as well, where you're either scratching around for more work, you're like, oh god, we need more work, or you're like, oh, we need to recruit. There's not a nice there's never a sweet spot until you get to kind of that critical mass, especially with smaller departments like this. Till you get to a critical mass of a certain size. It's feast or famine still. No, definitely.
And are the projects or the retainers?
Most of our stuff is retained.
Yeah, brilliant.
Which is how you want to do it.
Yeah. You can sleep at night.
Well, roughly what's coming in.
Of course.
Or what's not coming in.
Of course.
and it's easier to plan out the workflow. Is that how you tend to work?
It's how we've modeled our business now.
Yeah.
So
it's hard for video, I guess.
Absolutely. So for years and years, we've been saying the retainer model is the way, but it's been hard to implement. And that's not because of us. It's because the market wasn't ready. Because that agency model in other worlds, in other spaces, is a very popular model for a lot of businesses, for a lot of agencies. They couldn't. It's hard to package video in that same kind of manner. But I think we found
a way of doing
a solution that works for us. And that's given us stability. It's given us longevity. All the right things that retainer model offers.
You need them because
peaks and troughs otherwise.
Oh, it's always peaks, and we still have quite a lot of that because the music side tends to work on projects more. Like you do get retainers with bigger, but they have to be a big artist to be on retainer. Yeah. Because at some point the record label is going to go, well, we're not paying. Yeah. And then it's either the artist pays, which they do sometimes, or they go, well, I'm not paying. I'm not paying. That's the record label's job.
To a halt,
and you end up, and projects come to a close. And naturally, as in the cycle of how music is released, in terms of if they've got an album coming up, well, yeah, suddenly they want to do loads. But then when they're in a quiet period, they're like, well, I just want to be writing, and I'll do my own for a few months. And it's like, it's difficult. But marketing's constantly changing, isn't it? It's
constantly changing. Absolutely. So KTC, great brand. It's got Asian Indian heritage. Have you ever done any Asian music? Content?
We did actually. We worked with Sufi Score. Okay. So we did. It was about. I guess it was only about a 6-month project, but it was growing their YouTube channel. So it was they were setting up basically as like the YouTube channel for Sufi music.
Sufi.
Yeah, Sufi. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
So Sufi Score.
Yeah.
So they were setting up as that channel, and I mean they went from I don't know, less than 1 million. But when we took them on, there were sort of hundreds of thousands of subs to I don't know 5-10 million or something.
Awesome.
And then they were like, well, we're sorted. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Which is good in a way, but at the same time, you're like, well, they were and they were recording their own. They had their own they were starting to do their own sort of almost running it like a label as well.
Very good. Do you get involved with any of the recording side as well, or again stay away from that?
Yeah, we're not doing. I mean, we've got everyone. I think pretty much everyone in our. Certainly everyone in our digital team is either a DJ or artist, and and then the journalist who I employ is also a DJ and producer, and one of our designers used to work for Old Red Bus Station, which is was a music venue in Leeds, just shut down like all of them are at the moment. But so we could, I mean, it's handy with things like podcast production to have
DJs,
and sound engineering sort of style people in there, which is fine.
Of course.
When it comes to nice recording, although we're not quite as well set up as you are. With the 4-camera or 3-camera setup, we've got just one and a couple of little Shure MV7s or whatever. These are. I don't know. I want to know what this is. MV7X. Same as ours.
There you go. Snap.
Yeah.
You've got good kit. We've got good kit.
They are good. They are great. Joe Rogan uses them. They can't be bad.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's loads of synergies. Oh my god. So in a previous life, I used to DJ.
Yeah. Did you? What kind of stuff were you playing?
So it started off with Indian weddings. It finished at Indian weddings.
Right.
But in that journey, we played every genre of music that comes in the mix. So have you ever been to an Indian wedding?
No, I haven't. No.
Wow, you're missing out.
Am I? I've seen pictures of how huge.
I'll have to send you a couple of videos.
Yeah.
Anything less than 300-400 people is small.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
At our peak, we've been flown out to Australia 3 times, over to America, India, Dubai, across Europe.
Yeah.
My brother's been into Germany, Northern Ireland, numerous times. In our hype, like I said, it was the previous life I lived in. But, we were on the road from Thursday. We'd come back on a Monday. We were just on the road Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So from the Natural History Museum in London to Grosvenor House on Park Lane to Rico Casino, Rico in Coventry, which
Rico
is a big,
Arena.
Rico Arena, that's it,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Coventry, to the Natural Motorcycle Museum in Birmingham, up to Edinburgh. There's
Some
not a
big
venue.
venues, yeah.
There's not a venue that we've not performed in, not played in. Harewood House in Leeds.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful marquees, big setups. There's not a venue up and down the country we have not performed in. And it started from 2 decks and a mixer, right, going to our peak where taking Arctics onto a venue.
Huge
setups, designing,
wow.
designing sets, building sets, doing big production and delivering it. It'll take 2-3 days to build. Yeah, it'll still be out in 4 hours.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I loved it. I do miss it. It's a different life, life on the road. It's a different world of people that you bump into. And we're still in contact with some people. My brother's still in that world. I'm not.
No.
I wanted a work-life balance, and I spent no time with my
weekend.
wife.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Wife, my eldest son, I spent no time with him. And even though, getting flown out to Australia, not once, but I've been twice. My brother went 3 times.
It's nice. Those are the perks.
The perks of the job, exactly. So I always say, well, if you're going to be a car salesman, you want to do it for like Aston Martin or Bentley or somewhere. Just doing it for Ford is a bit of an anticlimax. And likewise, our kind of, no disrespect to any Ford lovers out there, but from a point of view of DJing, it's like, well, if we're going to DJ and we're going to do weddings, let's just aim for the stars. We'll get to the clouds. Was my kind of mindset. So that's what took us to right around the country. Loved it, and we still do corporate events because we've got that knowledge, we've got that infrastructure.
Well, I mean, I guess it's the setups. It's probably fairly similar.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same. Instead of rock and roll, it's just a bit more.
Bit less.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fun.
But we've done some awesome things. Northampton University Ball at Silverstone.
Oh wow, that's a big one. So those ones are big. Those...
big events, big artists turning up as well. But even in the Asian world or the Bangla world, all the artists from India, from the UK, Canada, huge artists that we've worked with. Here's a radio mic, and they've sang through our mic speakers, and we've lit them on stages. So
that's nice.
some great experiences throughout that journey. But that was a previous life. We were doing videos then as well, but it was like two businesses spread a bit thin. That was the thing, and now we've gravitated to what we do now, which is video marketing. Which is still in the media world, so it just feels like evolution as opposed to a change of direction or pivoting in a big way. But I
mean, there's obviously some big differences, but the more you it's the setup, isn't it? That's
exactly. And the beauty of it is now is most of the time now I say we're at a base, but even last year we were in Italy at the beginning of the year, that we were in Croatia in the middle of the year. With clients going out on location and filming. So we're finding a big opportunity where the lion's share of our business, not all of it, but the lion's share is B2B. We deal with manufacturers, and where there's a fit where a manufacturer has a high value product, high value sale. And we need, using video, we can help take that product to the customer as opposed to trying to bring the customer to them. There's a really good fit there. And our support is, well, try to understand how can we make that, how does video fit into the customer journey? How can we pepper video into that communication mix? And really think from the customer's point of view to reduce the friction. What do they want to know first? What do they want to know second?
Map that journey of information as well. So important because of the attention spans of people have, I don't think they were ever any good, but they've plummeted to levels of
absolutely. But the key thing now that we have with digital and video is that actually we can track. So historically, marketers would say, well, we know 50% of our marketing works, but we just don't know what 50%. So that's why we have to do all of it. But now, especially with digital and with video, well, we can pinpoint what works, what doesn't work. And them insights, I always say I'm a man with an opinion, but you can't argue with the data.
No.
So we have to be data-led with regards to the content we create, we produce, how we put it out there. And that's how we get a stranger to come through the whole funnel and then be a customer. And that's what, keeps us alive. So now we position ourselves, we're a video marketing agency. We focus at client acquisition.
Okay.
And video is our core tool. And it's about using video at top of the funnel, whether being B2B, who's your customer? That's the biggest question first. And how are you?
It's always the customer. It's always the question. Yeah,
it's always the question. Who's the customer,
and what do they need to know?
and some clients are challenged by that because everyone's our customer, and so we need to really then have more conversation.
It's
around
anyone
that.
really? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's never.
It's never everyone. It's never everyone, and it's never anyone. Because when you talk to everyone, you talk to no one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's and I mean that's the thing about kind of niching down or any of that. It's important because you do set yourself apart.
Of course.
And you've got right. Well, we deal with these people.
This particular,
and that's,
industry,
that's kind of,
niche, this kind of person.
Yeah, or this particular service. But I think the issue as well with a lot of in the B2B world is a kind of lots of people don't market in B2B.
They don't, yeah.
And that's the main thing that you kind of come across. It's like, well, we don't do any marketing. And it's like, okay. And you look at their kind of website and it's just full of features like product spec and things rather than anything that's going to make people make that decision.
Of course.
It's like I see it with it's whenever I deal with a lot of the companies that we deal with are very kind of in conservative industries. The food would be less so, but things like specialty chemicals and gas cylinders. Well, it's like you don't have to be that innovative with your marketing to be the most innovative
in your space.
in your space,
yeah.
You don't. The bar is very low.
Yeah,
it's a good thing because actually bringing people along when they've not done anything before. You've got to ease them in gently.
Of course, yeah.
And I guess with video, that's probably the same.
It's absolutely the same. It's daunting for a lot of businesses because they think it's a magic bullet. They think if I get a brand new video, it's going to change my business. And we've got to say to them, if I give you a brand new video, a video on its own is a blunt tool. What are you going to do with it? And so what we've learned is in the marketing world or the digital space, there's lots of these acronyms of done for you, done with you, DIY, do it yourself scenario. But for our clients and our businesses where we work the best is done for you. We come in, we'll hold your hand, walk and talk you through the process, but basically it's a full takeover. Because as much as people understand it, they don't get it. So they hear, they listen, they go, yeah, fine, I understand. I think I understand what video is going to do for us. But when you start applying that in a point of scale, it gets overwhelming because it's so complex with regards to, firstly, the cost, the investment, and, they want to tread cautiously that, is it going to be right? Is it going to be spot on? And the process is complex. It's not like photography. And in photography is complex as well. When you break down the whole concept of, right, okay, what is the desired result and emotion that we want to get out of this piece of work, but times that by 25 frames a second.
That's the difference.
60
and
seconds.
It's much, the editing side is potentially different as well.
Very different.
In terms of
Well, many years ago, I remember this story. Working with new clients is great on many levels, but can be a challenge on many levels. So we're working on great client through an agency. The agency gets in touch with us 11 o'clock at night, bit of a panic. We need this changing. It's got to be done for the morning. And the normal experience has been websites, graphics, and all of that kind of thing.
Swap it out, swap it in.
Swap it out, swap it in. Maybe a bit of Photoshop, maybe a bit of a tweak.
Yeah, half an hour job for a decent designer.
Video doesn't work like that. Video, render times. What's render time? What is render? It's like, yeah.
Well, we've got a dedicated. One of our old Macs is now just purely dedicated to rendering because of the of that.
Because of the bottlenecks.
Well, it just does. You ask a designer, it's like, especially on anything motion, you're like, oh, what you do? Oh, it's just rendering. You're like, right, is that 5 minutes rendering or is that today gone?
Of course, yeah. So no, you do right to have a render farm and
Michael
delegate.
Fast Render, it's called.
Okay, Michael Fast Render. Nice. So so that was a nightmare scenario that it doesn't work like that.
Well, I'm not
videos
gonna
are
work
different
overnight.
beast. Well, this is it. Video is a different beast. 3D is a different beast. Animation is a different beast, and there's a whole layer of education needed to clients to understand. Well, we can do anything you want.
but time.
But and we can be agile, but the tools and the machines and everything, it takes time for this kind of thing. So that was something that really early on in our video journey is that we spend a lot of time on the upfront asking first, have you done video before, or is this new? And based on that, we know which path to go down with regards to a piece of education about managing expectations.
Managing expectations in any kind of agency relationships
is key.
Is so important that they know what to expect. I guess it's with PR, it's probably a similar issue in that they don't understand the difference between PR and advertising. 90% of because they've never really, they've heard of public relations, but they don't really understand what it is.
So go on, for our audience and for me, go on, tell me what's the difference.
Well, PR is about reputation, so it's more about getting stuff into the media. Let's say that the biggest difference is kind of free versus paid. An advert is something that you pay to put into some media. PR at its best, and you some people do pay for PR, so I'm not saying that it's a complete distinction. Would be you getting free coverage, and it would be also more authentic in terms of its coverage. So you're getting the kind of third party endorsement of the platform that you're on. So say you got so last week, the Telegraph was looking to talk about olive oil because olive oil prices are finally coming down. So I got Gary Lewis from KTC to contribute to the article. So he's seen as the expert in that. There was no paying there. There's value in between. The journalist gets the value because he gets an expert who knows what they're talking about, and we get the value because Gary's seen as an expert in oils and fats.
Absolutely.
And that reciprocal relationship is how it works best, really. You're building relationships with journalists. You're getting free editorial coverage, hopefully. And that's where the kind of media relations PR stuff is. I mean, PR is a kind of broader topic with things like, events and press launches and all those kind of things. But what we primarily do is media relations.
Makes perfect sense. Managing expectations is absolutely core to any healthy relationship.
It absolutely is.
When it comes to longevity and having that trust in place that, we trust each other, the relationship's strong, we're going to get bumps. That's just part of life.
Yeah, but you've got to build it up, haven't you? You've got to have some in the tank to spend when things go wrong. And it will go wrong and you will fall short. There's no client relationship where you're going to hit everything every single time. Eventually something's going to happen. It
is, and we don't live in utopia. We've got to be real about that because the point of having bumps is that means you're pushing boundaries. You're pushing areas that, all right, let's try something. All right, it didn't work. All right, so we pull back, or you push harder, or you create new areas. So we find that really interesting. But coming back to managing expectations with regards to our process, our workflow, and making sure that they understand how
long it's going to take.
How long. Timelines are huge. Absolutely. We've transitioned to that. So a video marketing or video marketing agency has become a bit of a buzzword over the last few years. And we've seen a lot of businesses, a lot of video companies really string that into their narrative. And I think it's just, I suppose it's fashionable. But about 10 years ago, probably more than 10 years ago, I remember 2013 seems to stick in my head. We were like, every business needs a video function in their mix, in their marketing mix, because it's the most powerful way to engage with your either external audience or your internal audience. So externally, new potential customers, get them to understand what you do, what the brand's about, what your problem probably is, what's that problem statement, and what's the solution that business or brand can offer to explore. Is there any business opportunity between them and us? Or internally, that you've got a people challenge, you've got a people problem, and you often have suddenly when you have more than one site and you get to a certain tipping point of numbers,
training and process videos and all that. I've written a lot of scripts for those over the years.
So that comms challenge then naturally says, well, how can video play a role to get a clear, consistent message out to lots of people scattered over geography to keep people aligned.
Yeah.
And by humanizing your brand and connecting and reinforcing that through strategic messaging over time, consistently, can help to bring people well aligned. And it can help to disqualify people that aren't your fit, both internally and externally. So that's healthy for the business, because it's all about efficiencies. How can you be more efficient as a business? And so over time, we've kind of fallen into this sweet spot that we believed many years ago, that every business needs this function in-house. Do they have that ability? Do they have the ambition to have that in-house? Some do, some don't. Some of the larger corporates do because they can afford to. Whether they do it well is a different conversation.
I think, especially when you get to that scale of large corporate, everything gets diluted by the rounds of amends and by the multiple stakeholders. It's like anything, you're finding that. Do you find that essentially, too many cooks? The bigger the company, the more cooks there are.
And we always say that, right up front, who are the stakeholders? Who needs to be involved with this? And then ultimately, who's the one person who decides, who's going to decide? Because everyone's got an opinion, and that's fine. Everyone should have an opinion. However, someone needs to be held accountable to say, all right, we appreciate everyone's opinion, because we can't be led by committee.
No, have you ever worked with local government?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the worst for that. I mean, I remember I did. It's a while ago now, and it's while I was freelancing, so it's before I set up this business. I account handled and kind of project managed the rebrand of the Ferrens Art Gallery in Hull.
Nice.
And I thought it was going to be a lovely project.
You thought, all right, there's a story here.
We're dealing with the council, so we went through 7 different layers of people to get that approved. And you end up with some of the kind of process issues like visual accessibility for a logo. You're like, okay, very important, but your entire art gallery doesn't pass those. Those guidelines. Who are we going for? And everyone in those organizations, the bigger, it's the same in corporates. No one wants to make a decision.
They're too scared to.
Yeah, they're too scared. And that kind of, I imagine, like, from your kind of process on video, getting that one person is a similar process. Eventually we got it through, but it was completely different to what we had envisaged. Where you started. And it ends up, it's the, it's that a camel is a horse designed by committee. And that's what you end up with.
That's what you end up with. Yeah, how interesting. I mean, we're lucky from that point of view. We've got an ongoing contract with a council where we deliver their elections, Barnsley Council. So down the road for us. And it's a great relationship they have with them. And, one person gets in touch with us and we deliver against that one person. Other people on the day and during the events get involved with, what about this, what about that? And we say, we'll take note.
Yeah.
And we'll pass it on to the person who
having that one person. I'd love to have that. I mean, with most of my clients now, I do have one person.
We force it. We force it. Otherwise, we're putting our hair out. Thankfully, I still have a hair under the turban.
Mine's quickly retreating. Second child is causing grays and retreat. But
so that's self-inflicted. So
self-inflicted.
Can't blame the business. Of course. So with regards to the journey we came on was we recognized that every business needs a video function. So rather than trying to sell that concept, because we know they know it, but nobody wants to be sold to. Nobody likes a salesy approach. So we have a consultative approach to saying, look, what's the problem? What's the challenge? Is it internal or external? Because they're 2 very different problems. And quite often internal comms is a great sweet spot for us because it's good business. You don't have the same challenges as above the line marketing. It's got to be results based. I mean, internal comms, it still has to be results based, but it's an easier. I don't know. It's an easier gig for us. Maybe we've done it a few times, and we know what we're doing. Maybe that's what it is.
It can be more directive as well, can't it? In terms of you've got you've probably got one person who knows what they need to say in that case. So you're probably finding that one point of contact might be easier.
And it's easier then to help support them to understand, well, what's the goal? Over 12 months, what's the change that needs to happen? What are the KPIs? What are the problems? And what's that culture change that we need to help influence?
Yeah.
And based on the last year or 3 years and next, planning on the next 3 years, but what's that 1 year milestone that we have to make impact on? So that's for us, we found that feels like an easier conversation to navigate through and to deliver on, because going back to the point of every business needs a video function, is then right, okay, so how does video fit into that mix? What does that look like, and how can it support the business objectives? And marrying that up, because quite often video seems like we just need a video.
We just need a video. As if it's some magic. Yeah, there's no
magic
silver
pill.
bullets.
Exactly.
We just need a video.
We just need a video, and
everything will be fine in the business. All the structural issues that I've created over the last decade will be fine.
Exactly. So we really break that myth down, saying, really? Really? So tell me more about just this video.
Yeah.
And then very quickly, it's never one video. It's a series of videos. It's a campaign. It's a process. Just like a post or a communication, it's never one communication.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And I mean, with the one video, I mean, the good thing about video is you can clip it down ad infinitum. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's about getting as much value. If it's living on social or living on a website, it's the most expensive asset on there.
Yeah.
There's no ifs or buts about that. And from that point of view, how can you get as much value out of that as possible? How can you see it in the long form? How can you see it in short form? How can you see it on the website and on social? How can you use it in your email campaigns? How can you make sure it all integrates together so it's usable in so many different forms?
Yeah.
is absolutely key. Then, how can we make sure that, all right, we've made a 90-second piece that lives on the website, which is great, but how do we know that it's getting watched to the end, to the 90th second, and they've click the CTA to do the next thing? So the CTA is probably easy to track, but still.
Well, watch times though, really important in terms of,
that's the key.
If you're creating, if you're doing retargeting campaigns or anything, like creating audiences from, okay, well they watch 40 seconds of this, maybe they're worth, maybe they're worth speaking to again.
Of course.
Yeah.
And in the absence of having that data or seeing that data, knowing that, you just
like,
yeah.
Oh, the video's working. Is it?
Looks nice.
Yeah, it looks lovely. Yeah.
And I remember we had a really tough conversation years ago. We were sat with client, agency, and ourselves, and we had a conversation that we had this product. We made a video. We put it onto the landing page. The landing page got promoted to its audience. But we were unsure about how well this video is performing. I went, all right, that's interesting. Well, let's dig deeper. What does the data tell us? So, and there was, the sentiment in the room was from the agency, well, video's expensive, and, maybe we don't need video next time. Next time let's rethink about our budgets.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Let's do an infographic, and we can be more conservative on budgets, and we can do more campaigns in quantity that way. All right, that's fine. That's definitely one option. But let's understand what's happening first. So we looked at the data, and with every campaign where we can drive traffic to a landing page, we did against embedding YouTube videos. And there's a whole backstory to that, but we're agency partners with Wistia, and that gives us great insights to exactly what's happening, not only in the video, but what's happening on that page. So really quickly, what we could see was, well, we've had 20,000 people that have hit this page, so that's a good number, but only 2,000 people have watched the video.
Why is that?
It begs the question. So before we get to the video, maybe that landing page is a bit too busy, because if that's the most expensive asset that's doing all the heavy lifting,
and it's sitting at the bottom of the page somewhere below 1,000
not
words
above
of
the
text.
fold, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. We see that a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Then maybe we need to rethink about the design. All right, so whose responsibility is that? So agency, let's rethink about, we're working as a team here. Client's goal is to get most people through this to the next stage in the process. Next
Push
stage
them down
of
the funnel, yeah. Push them
absolutely. Down. So the video's doing the heavy lifting, but it's getting lost. And this is what the data is telling us. Okay, but before we move on, all right, the 2,000 that did watch the video, did they watch all of the video, some of the video, or did they drop off it after 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Wow. the majority got to the end of the video.
I mean, that tells you that it's at least engaging enough to keep their
interest.
Yeah,
exactly. So really quickly, there was a healthy conversation about what's happening, and the next steps was not let's create an infographic. It's more about, all right, let's revisit the design of that landing page. And we're strong believers, split test to measure.
Yeah.
Have 2 different versions. Have one that looks super simple. Have another one that looks complex.
And then see which one works better, and then do it again with a different one.
Absolutely. But just change one thing.
Or one thing each time. Or otherwise you just
it
doesn't work.
So quite often we do get into the scenario where we partner, we marry up through our clients. We're working with agencies and we welcome it. We have no pushback. The only time where it does kind of like, I doesn't say great, but it doesn't work is where the agency is saying, oh, we do video.
Oh, you can't have 2 people who do the same thing on the same account, because there's always going to be opinions on, well, we would have done it this way. So as soon as the danger there is, as soon as something doesn't perform exactly how it should, and at times they won't, you immediately are like, you're open to internal criticism from that.
Course.
Oh, well, why didn't you do this? You're like, well, with hindsight, that's of course we should have done that, but you don't know at the time. A lot of the times, you're doing your kind of best.
Well, everyone's doing their best. There's no argument there. The conflict that we've seen that happens is, for the agencies, more about commercials. They just want to make sure that they keep that client, and we have the lion's share of that, what that retainer looks like. So it's more about commercial reasons, not about merit. Not about, all right, who's best in class here. And if someone whose expertise is in this part, which we can work in partnership with, maybe we're missing a trick here. Because again, where I say in video production, the video marketing is a buzzword, and that's become really popular. Even in agencies, we do video, but they just hire a freelancer, come in, they'll do the shoot, and then they'll do the digital marketing and the rest of it, and say, we can do video. But there's a lot
like
more.
Saying you're a web expert and getting in external support. Exactly, it's not.
So it's the same. It's the same kind of thing that. We do give pushback, saying, well, what are we trying to achieve out of this campaign, and then let's just map out all the steps and process on what will contribute to this, and then quite often the agency will just say, actually, you do this. Seems to be more your sweet spot.
Well, that should be how it works. You should get the specialist in to do the different things. If you're not, if you're not good at that service, you shouldn't be
there.
Shouldn't be doing it.
Shouldn't be really.
No. And it's very tempting, show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome. I can't remember, that's Warren Buffett's partner at Berkshire Hathaway. I can't remember his name, but I really like that quote. Yeah. Show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. And for an account manager, a marketing agency, the incentive is to just get the work in.
Absolutely. So everyone's different motivation.
The outcome is of course. They'll say yes to stuff that they shouldn't do. And the temptation is always there to do things that are slightly outside your wheelhouse. And it's one of those lessons that you have to learn the hard way about the long-term impact of doing that. And we've made sure that we don't do that. But the temptation's often there. Oh, go on, take on this web project. Well, we'll have to get someone else external to do it. Or, oh yeah, go on, you could get a video. You could get a video person in, and then we could do it. Yeah, but maybe someone else would be better to do that.
Yeah.
Especially in harder times, I guess. If you've got capacity that you want to fill, then there's always the temptations there. Yeah,
of course. And again, from an entrepreneurial point of view, why not? If you can fill the boots and you've got the ambition to build the team or learn the skill set and have the knowledge base, then fine. I'm not.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with expansion and diversification. It's taking on stuff, taking on more than you can chew.
And if you're a bit out of your depth, then you're what's the other saying is fake it before you make it.
Yeah, you're winging it. You just to get that kind of work in, and or you're learning on the job. Learning on the job. I mean, you're always learning on the job, so that's not necessary. I don't want to badmouth that, because there's always new, especially in marketing. There's always new things.
Absolutely.
And you've got to try them for the first time.
There's new tactics, but not new strategies. The strategies are pretty much set.
Oh yeah, the strategies stay the same.
But tactics are always new tactics.
And the tactics that work, especially on social media, they can change just by the week.
Yeah.
What worked last week as a format.
Yeah, of course.
Suddenly, oh no, we don't want that content anymore. It's the platform's full of that content. So we're going to do something else.
Do something different.
Do something else.
Yeah.
You need to know. We're not going to tell you what we're going to do different, but you need to work it out.
Of course.
Yeah.
The challenge.
Yeah, that's it.
So knowing that every business needs video in the mix, for us it's about disqualifying people that want it but really can't.
That you can't.
We can't serve
afford it, or you can't.
We can't serve them because of capacity and price point and the investment needed, and then back in 2010, 2013, the world isn't where it is today. Everyone's got 5G mobile phones. You can watch 4K video on your phone, as opposed to back then. It wasn't a thing. So even though our mindset was there, it was only large corporates that would even consider it. But then their mindset was quite archaic with regards to only a few early adopters, as opposed to everybody recognizing, we all need.
We're all consuming a huge amount of video.
Of content. Video content. And so fast forward to where we are today, everybody recognizes they consume video content. That conversation is much more palatable. When we're saying, well, what are your customers doing? What are your employees doing? In between breaks, at home, on an evening, they're consuming video.
Yeah.
So if you're not there, just think about that. Just stop, process that, and have a think about, well, you're missing an opportunity. And, if you're not in that space, either someone else has take that space, and what you're leaving on the table is gone. So from that point of view, I kind of believe we're in a category of one. There's not many businesses that kind of look after the full marketing, the full video strategy, and video production and video distribution.
They tend to be either or. They tend to be the marketing strategy people or the video
production
people.
company.
The production company who loves who loves the gear
creative,
and the creative side and the vision, but they're not there to think about the results. Yeah. If it flops, that's not.
Yeah, but it looks beautiful.
Look at it though. Look at all the skills we've used in here.
So cinematic.
Yeah. And then sometimes, simpler is. Yeah. You look at the authenticity on kind of social video as well and how that's changed. People wanted that really polished stuff. And now we're in a kind of phase where people want authentic. Like they don't care what it looks like as long as it's good. In certain, that can do just as well, if not better.
Of course.
But fashions will change.
Yeah, of course.
Fashions will change again because people get sick of that. And then you'll get, we'll go back to, where certain features or certain kind of styles are more popular again. Because, fashion comes and goes in everything.
Well, the trends, the cycles, and it's about understanding and respecting them and trying to ride that wave, as opposed to
that must
being,
be difficult for you, I guess.
Well, it's a constant challenge. And what we always say is that we're not set in stone with regards to how we deliver and execute. But what doesn't really change is our frameworks. Because we understand there's going to be a problem that your audience or your kind of target market are suffering from, and if you can resonate with that creates parallels. So once again, them strategic frameworks work across the board, whether it's video, whether it's PR, whether it's marketing in general. And then it's about execution. All right, so it's about positioning. If we're a premium brand or if we're an influencer, can we get away with user-generated content done on my iPhone? And sometimes you can, if it is, someone, a celeb, an artist, they could absolutely get away with it all day long.
That's a lot of the content that we do. But then there's still a place, even with those, like if you're showcasing, like we do a lot for Octave One, who are techno, Chicago techno outfit. But the big thing that makes them special is their setup. So they use something, it's called the mothership, and it's just a huge selection of controllers. So every performance is different. So it's the live performance of techno, which is something that, it's not like watching the usual DJ play out. And actually communicating that, getting some really nice high quality video content of them behind it. Is what's helped us to grow their socials. That's been the key driver, that kind of content, because people love the gear. They love to see the difference. That is their unique selling point. That is the thing that makes them special.
It's an immersive experience. And it's not just the music, but it's the whole package. And I remember back to some of the events that we did, we had this huge 30-foot seamless projections that we would design like a massive wall.
Yeah.
Like today, we'd probably build them out of an LED wall, but previously when we were doing them, that technology wasn't available. So we had projectors, like 3 projectors that we'd stack side by side to give us a mass super widescreen projection.
Yeah.
And then we'd create the content to go to travel over 6 hours. So what does that content need to be in line with the theme to have that purely immersive experience, that you got video content, you've got lighting, you've got sound, and then theming with regards to the decor and the dressing of that room.
It's all got to fit together.
It all has to fit together.
Yeah.
And that's what creates that wow factor. When people walk in, they get wowed, but they look, wow, where have I come to?
It's an event.
It's an event.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Experiential kind of thing, which is, once again, it makes you in a category of one, because that's what they remember you. It's the experience that they remember, which makes it so unique. So if I think about events, which has helped support me with what we do now, which is video, it's all right. We can communicate the information, but how can we make an emotional impact on the viewer? And at that point there, that's the real formula. If we can get to that point there, then we make an impact, and you're going to resonate, and we'll see some tangible results. Not easy, because quite often it's Hollywood productions or big productions, but that's the formula we're always looking for.
Yeah.
And we believe in humanizing your brand and getting the business owners behind the camera. Just like podcasts now are becoming
what's the biggest media outlet in the world? Or what's the biggest media show in the world probably now? Probably Joe Rogan.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah.
18 million, views or whatever, or listens on one of his episodes.
He has like 4-hour kind of podcast.
4-hour long form. When they talk about attention spans, it's and also like the different, you need short form video. It's like, he's got 2 people sitting like we are now, just in a room chatting to each other for 3 or 4 hours. And it's some of the most popular content in the world.
I know.
Yeah.
So it comes back down to what are you talking about? What's that narrative? That's where the value is.
Oh yeah, the storytelling is always the important thing.
Yeah.
In marketing as well.
Of course, in marketing as well. And full circle back to we recognize them fundamentals. We recognize that video is super powerful. So we do hit a sweet spot with helping businesses recognize, are you using this medium? Because you should use the medium. Do you have the ability to use it in-house? Can we upskill your teams? And if you do have an internal team, it shouldn't be a novelty for month 1, month 2, month 3. In month 7, is it sustainable? And if it is, great. We'll even share with you frameworks on what you should do, on how to use it. What is evident is 9 times out of 10, they don't. They don't have the ability. They don't have the investment. Buying the kit is the easy part.
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of employing somebody, whether they're a graduate or even well-versed, can be easy. But it's like, you can't bring back them 12 months of, all right, we've got the kit, we've got the person, but 12 months later, we didn't get the results. There's no way to bring that time back. That's time lost.
All that resource. Yeah,
exactly.
All that resource that you put in.
So we feel that space to say, well, look, we'll partner with you. We'll be that resource, and we'll work strategically. What are the commercial goals? How do them commercial goals,
what does success look
down?
like?
Yeah, that's the starting point. That's the start. It has to be the starting point.
Yeah.
So we know that we're all on the same page, being goal orientated. And then how does that actually filter down to what video content do we need to do to support that, to get to that end result?
Rather than, as you say, the standard thing is we need a video.
It's a good starting point. But
we need a video. Okay, well, we're at least we sell videos, at least there's that.
There's some synergy.
Yeah, I guess. So you mentioned that you work with lots of manufacturers. Is it primarily? Did you say B2B? Or is it?
Yeah. It's primarily B2B, and I think there's a great story that. Well, I suppose every business has their own story, and it's about finding that story. But yeah, primarily, I don't know if it's because just the space that we've been in or the network I'm in, we've not done as much B2C. I'd be open for the opportunity. I'd be open for the challenge, but it's not a big part of our portfolio. No, our portfolio tends to be B2B, and we can help brands. And I think there's, for commercial reasons, from a business point of view, I think it presents a better opportunity for us as well. bigger,
'Cause-
they're more established, they think more long term, 1 year's short, 3 years, and that gives us stability from a retainer model point of view. So B2Bs are kind of bag. Even though we do a handful of work with manufacturers, we're not limited to that niche. So we talked about niching earlier on. We work in education, we work in sports, we work in manufacturing. But I think what is our niche is working with either the business owners or strategic development directors, where growth is the key driver.
Customer acquisition.
The motivation. We need growth. And growth comes through, customer acquisition. And that seems to be, if I look across the board of the lion's share of our work, it's where the print management company needs growth. The manufacturer needs growth. That company needs growth. So that seems to be our niche. Where and on the internal comms is obviously it's a people challenge. We're not getting the engagement, buy-in, efficiencies, and that's a different space.
We need to communicate change.
Yeah. Change management is huge, and again, video plays a great role as a medium to say, well, how do we? Nobody likes change. Who likes change?
No, and in businesses, any change is likely, especially in a big business, is going to be perceived through the most negative possible lens by people who aren't. Like, internal comms is so important in terms of like just telling people it, because it is the otherwise they're going to fill in the gaps. I had this with a big client recently with a sort of a brand transition, and immediately, if you don't get it right, people immediately go to, well, there'll be job losses. Well, we'll have this. Well, this is going to change. We're going to be moved. My job's going to change. And often none of that's going to happen.
I know. It's amazing how where the mind takes you.
Well, we're hardwired, aren't we, to see negativity more than positivity.
Always. We're always the pessimists, aren't we? We're always the cynics.
But evolutionarily, that was probably quite helpful.
Well, it's survival for the fittest. That's why we've got where we are.
You need to be worried about the stuff that's going to kill you.
But we've just lost that balance. Of, stay optimistic too. And at least listen before you make judgment, and some of that good stuff.
Have you heard of the concept? It's Morgan Housel. It's overnight tragedies and long-term miracles.
Oh, wow.
So overnight tragedies, bad news and bad things you feel immediately. Is an immediate impact. But with good things, often you have to look back to see them. You have to, you're like, oh, that was a really good time. Oh, I really enjoyed that. They're best enjoyed retrospectively over a long period of time. And also, like, so his example is, like somebody dies, an immediate tragedy. Everyone feels it. Everyone's sad. It's awful. But then you can see, you look back at some of the kind of progress that human history's had. So like every year over the last 20 years, 200,000 people in the world have been dragged out of absolute poverty. Billions of people literally dragged out. And yet no one's celebrating that. No one's ever gone.
We don't acknowledge that.
It's that long term, that long timeline.
How interesting. It's a good point. That is. We never acknowledge the good times, do we?
No,
we take
don't.
it for granted because the bar just gets. We just raise the bar every time.
Well, when you think of it in your business as well, whenever you have a success, you're like, yeah, right. Oh, now we've got to do it. Oh, now we've got to deliver it. Oh no, now we've got. What are the challenges? You immediately, even the successes end up getting reframed, of course, because you don't get paid at the start. So you're getting paid at the end. So and by the time that's coming in, you've already mentally celebrated the win.
But we've changed that. We get paid up front.
That's good.
We've changed that model.
We get paid up front for some bits.
Okay.
And then it depends what it is. Yeah. So we tend to invoice monthly. On the retainer, obviously, we invoice monthly. But you do it up front.
We do it up front. So it's the same model. And it's born out of being burnt. We've had our big fingers burned. And now with the businesses we work with, because 9 times out of 10, it's either with the entrepreneur, the owner, or the leadership team, the leadership team and the directors. The way we position our retainers, our contracts, the procurement is 90% of the time, not religiously 100%, but 90% of the time we get paid and then we do the work.
I mean, it makes sense.
Hmm?
I'd love to, love to speak more to you about that, to be honest, because I think we need some of that. I mean, it's better from your cash flow perspective as much as anything. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about non-payment of bills, which
it
does happen.
It does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen, and nobody wants to be in that position. But you're just trying to mitigate as much as you can, and you can't do it all, but you just do as much as you can.
You mentioned about like the we've been burnt before. I think if I could have a sort of business superpower, learning from other people's mistakes would be it, because it's really hard. You don't end up. You only really learn when it happens to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, why did I do that? I knew that was a risk, but everyone thinks you get the exceptionalism of your own business. Well, that won't happen to me. And then it does. You're like, right, now we need the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just from years of the importance of contracts and agreements, milestones, managing expectations. And for us, just especially with the video world, you have pre-production, production, post-production. And it's a very popular format with regards to the video world. And people often say, well, do you really need the pre-production? Why do we need to do the storyboards or the treatment or sign off a script? And I go, we don't want to get to the end of a film and ever have a client say, what was in that voice? And why was that visual there? Because they've signed it off at pre-production stage and they've gone through production and now they're at the nth degree. It's safeguarding ourselves. Yeah. That's why pre-production, we have it signed off. From production, we always have client on set. They sign it off because there's always going to be a bump on production. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you plan for, even in controlled studios.
And what they envisaged in their mind's eye is never going to be what is delivered, because that's not how it works.
It's not how it
works. It's not how it works. So that's in itself is a difficult.
Yeah. So quite often.
So I guess getting paid up front, because it's not like you can. There's no reusability.
Well,
in terms of, you can't, if you filmed a client, you can't, and they don't want to pay, it's not like you can go to another client, oh, we've got this video.
It's a great token head. It's a great token head.
Just buy this video. I mean, it's got
no purpose.
Whereas with, I guess, some of the PR articles, some of the thought leadership stuff, I could put a different name to it. It's not like you can just say, oh, no, this is a different business.
Of course, that would be.
So it makes more sense to get paid up front.
It's funny you should say that. Maybe with AI nowadays, we could just totally remodel a face.
Just get a new face on it. Exactly. And a new logo wherever it was.
Yeah, it's not Nike now. It's Adidas.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. I think there'd be lots more to talk about. And you know what? Even though we haven't got to any real opportunities of how we can work together, we should do this every month. Even just catch up, have a chat.
Well, you're only 10 minutes away. It's fine.
And if it's not out of your way, and maybe next time it's your office, or if you want to come here, you're welcome to.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the centre. You know where we are? We're literally in the Leeming building, so in the centre of town.
Okay.
The market.
Okay.
So we're in the offices upstairs at the market.
Okay.
So we've got a 700 square foot studio space, and then some shared kind of meeting rooms.
Meeting rooms, fine. Well, I don't mind coming down to have a look,
come down.
And it'd be nice to have a change of scenery.
Yeah, well, it is always nice to get
out of your own four walls. But if going forwards, just away from our general conversation, just about getting some substance on how you could maybe support us, it'd be good to know, because I'm thinking of our one particular client that's selling tables. What does that look like from your point of view to support with regards to PR? Over a year.
Who did it sell to?
Sorry, who did it sell to? So, a quick snapshot. They're a manufacturer in Croatia. They're trying to attract a B2B model of retailers in the UK. Okay. They'll manufacture, they want to sell 100 tables a month into the UK, ideally to one retailer that will resell them. But even if it's,
So looking for distributors as well,
absolutely. Potentially. Yeah. And there's a great story there, because they're handmade tables, they're oak, ash, walnut, they've got all the sustainability credentials, it's Croatian wood. They're beautiful. That's a good starting point, kind of part of the conversation. There's a nice incentive on how they do a JV to make it low or no risk. Have the table for free, and we do a profit share once you've sold it, just to get it over the line. That's more of a, you could say, sales tactic.
Yeah. But there's an interesting thing, I guess, like from a PR perspective, thinking about what It depends again who their customers are. Start with who their customers are, and then we'll think about what the challenges that their stuff solves, or what the opportunities are from that. It's whether it's newsworthy from a media relations perspective, and what the newsworthy aspects are. So, for instance, you could get sustainability coverage quite easily, but that's not necessarily what the. I guess it depends also what their brand is, who buys the tables in the end, and what we need to make it, and who the stuff will be. But there's definitely
great
there's kind of things
great questions. And all of the answers I can share with them, all of them insights. Three key target markets. So there are premium tables, so definitely high end. So they retail at 4,000 upwards from a price point of view. So it's premium. 3 target markets: your homeowners want a beautiful dining table, your CEO's office wants something absolutely unique, or a hotel conference room, boardroom. So your boutique hotels where they want something a little bit different. These are all brand new, and there's no like this table here. There'll be thousands of them. They're just the same table. The exact same design.
Yeah, exactly.
These tables are unique.
So every single one is unique.
Yeah, exactly, because it's the
it's
tree.
a piece of wood.
It's the tree, and you get a live edge. You're never going to get 2 live edges that are exactly the same.
Oh no.
So each table is unique. So it's got a really interesting story from that point of view.
I guess it's so I would do some research and see who's writing about tables for a start. That would be where I would go. Yeah. And if there's someone writing about beautiful tables, I would suggest that we send them a beautiful table as a starting point. Would be the PR. The best PR is like, look, it's that kind of stuff. That, I guess you got the push-pull stuff in terms of that is the end consumer
perspective.
But at the same time, that's going to make it more attractive from a distributor's perspective because there's demand.
They're talking about it, That third party's talking about it, absolutely. Yeah. No, I get that. And it's funny you should say that, because we're doing that with another product of ours. I say product of ours, client that we're working with. But we pretty much say it's our product because we're so much in bed with them. So Van Guardian, they put alarms on vans. And, This has been on Dragon's Den. They didn't get any money, but they didn't understand what the product was. But anyway, cut a long story short, where we're getting great success now is influencers. Give them the product, use the product, and they've got their own community, and the referral sales are phenomenal. They get a commission, and it's a win-win, and
that makes sense.
No ad spend. So
I mean, I would say that the table side, especially when it's can you buy direct from them in the UK? No.
Not really, but one of our partners, we could sell directly through them.
So that is it's how that model works, because I would say the influencer style in terms of like that could work quite nicely for that as well.
It could work,
but definitely from a PR perspective, just whoever's writing about wonderful, beautiful tables, like someone must be.
Well, there's all the design magazines.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of that kind of space.
Yeah, that's where
who's in vogue, isn't it? In that interior design space.
Exactly, that's where you would go. And I mean, it's the outlay. The biggest outlay for them would be giving out the samples. Yeah, I would say, which is it's quite a big outlay when you've got some serious cost in them. Although I don't know what the margin is, obviously. So.
They've got good margins, like any business. They've got healthy margins. Well, so the opportunity there is probably to explore that in a bit more depth.
Yeah, and I think from our side, I guess like it's if we've got video content that comes up, like we've got. I'm thinking immediately about the dog training client.
Oh yeah,
because she does a lot. I think she's even got a video person on retainer at the moment, but. Yeah, it's not out of. She's quite well known, and she's done quite a lot in the media. So and hopefully this campaign that we're doing for her should
bomb things up a bit.
Should do some good work. But it's things like that. I guess on the music side, we are less involved on that side because we tend to be working with their management teams. But that's not to say there couldn't be opportunities in there if that's something. Because I know you've got on your pull-up banner, you had music videos.
So I forgot to even mention it. So claim to fame, we've been to Mauritius twice just to shoot music videos.
I mean, it
was a tough gig that was, and we were there for 4 weeks over December, which is their summer.
Oh no,
it was
so hard.
Who
was that for?
Well, huge artists in the Bangalore world,
Okay.
But no one in the mainstream world.
Mm-hmm.
We were there for 4 weeks. We shot 3 videos out there. We had a great crew, great team, great talent, great experience. Came back.
Looked after nicely.
It was, it was
Yeah,
like,
that's the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it was a tough job. It was a tough
Yeah.
gig.
Well, we've got. I mean, obviously, we work with these people. I need to speak to James on that side of the business to see what the kind of opportunities are,
Yeah.
because there are. Obviously, there's loads of video content being produced.
Of course.
And like Daniel, the issue you would have working with a lot of the artists we got is obviously creative ego.
Yeah.
Like dealing with them on anything is
Prima
some of
donnas.
them. But also they've not been told no. Lots of them.
Yeah.
At the size that we get to of artists.
Sure.
But more than that, they are artists and they've got their own creative visions, and I don't know how fun that would be to work with a lot of them.
Well, sometimes it's challenging at the best. Sometimes they're prima donnas, and sometimes you can't work with them.
No,
but we have to disqualify early on.
Yeah. You've got to, and you don't know until you start talking to someone whether you can
course.
work with them or whether you want to work with them.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Lovely.
I think there's some definite next steps. With regards to tables, I'd like to explore what that looks like.
Yeah, fine.
So I don't know if you've got a series of questions or a questionnaire or something. Fire it over. I'll feed through links to the
worries.
to the page and content, answer all the questions, and then I'd love to see what that could.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because it's because we're talking to retailers and we're talking to buyers at retailers. It's how do they do exhibitions and things?
Not yet. It could be on the
I mean,
cards,
that's where that's where I would, if I was going to spend big, I'd go to whatever the big designer exhibition is, because that's where retailers will be going to look for the new items. I think that's where I would go.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And also the content that you could get at those shows from a video perspective would be quite nice as well. You could do a lot of like, here we are at this high end. Even the fact that you're there says a lot about the product, I guess, from a commerce perspective. There's going to be people who you could send a table to. There's loads of people you could send a table to who would then write about it, or the influencer stuff. But that's one removed from the commercial goal, which is to get retailers. That's demand gen.
Yeah.
But it's not getting retailers to see their own potential to sell this item, I guess.
So we have had lots of conversation about, some boutique hotels in London, Home House, Annabelle's, some really nice places in London where we just gift them a table because it's in the right backdrop with the right kind of clientele.
Yeah.
London Fashion Week, have our tables there, and there's a story there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way that you would do it from a kind of brand perspective, I guess. Yeah.
But I think also, let's explore next steps. Let's understand what that looks like.
Cool.
And, if there's something we can do together, that'd be fantastic.